Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 17. Today we're looking at Marvel Chillers 1 and 2 featuring MODRED The Mystic. First appearance of MODRED The Mystic. And I don't know where he appears again after this. I want to say that I've seen him on maybe a team, or maybe he appears in maybe some Doctor Strange or some Defenders. I'm not sure. But I don't remember ever seeing him again after these two issues. Let's get a sip of this Tim Hortons Dark Roast. That's good stuff. This first issue, it's a pretty decent copy, probably very fine minus. The cover is pretty nice. It's got some stress marks here and there. Has some water damage, it looks like, too. A little moisture damage, and that probably explains why the pages are kind of they're yellowed, browned, whatever. Definitely smells musty. This one is one of the strongest musty smells I've had in a while when I opened this old timer up. Interesting thing about these two issues, the first page, the splash page in both issues, drawn by different artists other than who draws the regular comic. This one, you can see here, John Romita and somebody ED, I'm not sure who. Frank Giacoy did the inks, but this is John Romita doing the front splash page. But then it goes into the regular comic, and we see that the artist is Young Montano, who I've never heard of. Has a bit of a Frank Brunner look, maybe, a style. I can't tell. So I just wonder if Young Montano is like a pen name, pseudonym. It's possible. But his artwork's pretty good. MODRED the Mystic is discovered under the ground in England by these two archaeologists who are excavating for the fabled Dark Hold, which was a tower back in 1100 years ago that contained the famous Darkhold that you see in like today's Disney Star Wars or Disney Marvel movies, or TV shows like The Scarlet Witch, the last Doctor Strange film, I think. And it was surprising to me when I looked these up. The Darkhold isn't even listed in, like, it's not like listed as anything in these. I would have thought that maybe the key hunters out there would have claimed that this was like the first appearance of the Darkhold, but nothing's said about it in these two issues. All that's mentioned is it's the first appearance of MODRED the Mystic. But that's his whole thing. MODRED is who he is because of the Darkhold. He was a wizard's pupil, and instead of complying with King Arthur's wishes to have him come study under Merlin instead of his wizard that he'd been studying with and wants to marry the daughter of, he throws a huge temper tantrum and travels to the Tower of Darkhold, where he comes across the Darkhold, the book, the evil book, and becomes possessed by it, basically, I guess. He ends up in suspended animation for 1100 years until these archaeologists dig him up. But basically he's a master sorcerer now, I guess, because of the Darkhold. So he's got some black magic in him. Not completely a good guy, I guess. But he gets them out of the hole in the ground that they were stuck in, and that's the end of this issue. Other than this reprint from 1957, this silly little time travel story. It's only like 3 pages long. Basically, this greedy dude steals this dude's time travel device, goes back in time, kills his own grandfather, and realizes what he's done. The end. Originally presented in Mystical Tales number 7. This is kind of a mistake. It says next issue, Tigra the Werewoman, but they must have decided that they needed to do one more issue with MODRED, and this sees MODRED reacting to the modern world real quick. This is really super surprising and interesting to me. Remember in the first issue, the first page was drawn by different artists than who drew the book. This is the same. This is John Byrne. I had no idea. After reading up on it, I realize it now, but I can see it. I can see that that's John Byrne, heavily inked by someone else, but that's definitely John Byrne. Had no idea. But then again, you go into the regular story and Sunny Trinidad art. Again, is that a pen name? I don't recognize this artist either, but he's not bad. Basically, MODRED is now downtown England, and he's seeing cars, and he thinks they're dragons, and the people getting out of him, he thinks they're demons, and he thinks he's under attack, and the cops have to come after him, and he ends up getting shot. And then the archaeologists that discovered him underground, they finally find him, and they load him into their VW bus and take off. And then he does a whole, like, unnecessary, like, you have a second issue to have MODRED in it, and then you spend 1, 2, 3, almost 4 pages rehashing his origin that they just went over the issue before. Like, why would you do that? Anyway, that's just me complaining. I know that in Marvel back in the day, you had to basically do that because every comic was like a possible potential new reader, so you had to make sure that they knew everything that was going on, so they wouldn't be confused when they read it. But anyway, MODRED is on the run with these two in their VW bus, and this sun-like thing, I guess, is a demon from the Darkhold coming to get MODRED, to take back whatever MODRED took from the Darkhold, whatever energies or knowledge. So MODRED has to fight the demon, which is basically just like a giant sun, and turns into a spiral of fire. But MODRED brings the trees alive, and I guess that scares him off because MODRED beats him back. MODRED wins, and finally the demon has kind of a face. But MODRED is he's empowered by the Darkhold, so he has a lot of like black magic, dark arts in him. He's kind of a little bit of a bad guy, but he wins, and that's really it. And then it ends. He's got to, I guess now he's got to go find his place in this modern world. But again, Tigra is going to be in the next issue now, for real this time. That's MODRED the Mystic's first appearance in Marvel Chillers 1 and 2. Anybody out there who knows anything about MODRED, please comment down below. I would love to find out. I'd love to hear. I would love to see where he shows up next. Maybe I'll stumble across it in an upcoming video as I go through my Marvel comics in order. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.